Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where last time we entered the area beyond the barrier of the Zul'Jars and found ourselves here in a weird mix of Yassolani structure and the foreign technology, and apparently in the, what is it, day or so since the barrier appeared, in here they passed 30 years. And now we decided to help with a little monster extermination. Also, we met Sphene, the Queen of Alexandria, she introduced herself, and are still wary of how trustworthy she is. Ah, you're both alright, thank goodness. You really needn't have worried. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. We're all gone now. Of course I was worried. You're my dear guests. But thank you, we truly appreciate this. Indeed, with this, we won't have to ask the Zul'Jars machines for help. He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. Thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Sphene. That's enough, Mosa. If you have grievances, I will hear them later, but to speak of a king now... No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folks here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never fail to let us know how much you care. Of course, you're my precious family, all of you. You seem a good sort, Sphene, but I admit. But you forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Now I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? So, Zul'Jar, you bastard. My apologies for laughing earlier. Your friend painted an image so far removed from the screen we know I couldn't help myself. On the cloud. Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts? I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. My thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come and visit us anytime. So much of Alexandria I would love to show you. Do we hear it?
What's happening over there?
It's nearly time.
Okay.
I'm glad you could make it.
Are you with us?
Queen Sphene has come to see you.
We're here, Namika. Everything is going to be all right. What's the matter, dear?
It can't be.
30 years.
That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Decades.
Namika, it's me. Wuklamat.
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Has she no more soul cells?
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end. Be not afraid. Your memory will live on, in us.
living on in memory. The Giants share a similar belief.
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
Let us give them some time alone.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
With what we can be reasonably certain of, perhaps. Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a Void Gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression. The Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken.
If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm. The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's noxious influence.
I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents by means unknown.
Now this makes me wonder. Was this perhaps a shard that was already rejoined in a previous calamity, but Alexandria found some way to isolate itself from the rejoining and now followed the rest? Is that possible?
In other words, Sphene's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
Ah, but of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder.
There's something she isn't saying.
Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs. Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zoralja resides.
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zoralja do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Zoralja's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course.
That was not an answer, not really. Does the well-being of her people mean she will support us or she will support Zoralja? Are we the greater threat or he?
Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa? You might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
I'm afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep, anyway. Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namika these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
Namika? I'm sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
Memories removed.
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it isn't funny.
I don't mean to give offense, but I honestly have no idea who you are talking about. I'm sorry.
How can you not know who she is? You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud. Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
That was shady. That is very unsettling. Yeah. We'll see how it is with other people. As far as I could tell, Pepperonic genuinely had no connection of Namika. I've never seen or heard of anything like this before. What's going on? How could Pepperonic suddenly forget about Namika? As if he never knew her. Could the same thing have happened to others as well, I wonder? There's only one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika and the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the Everite. An old woman named Namika. Afraid I don't know that person. Sorry, I couldn't be of help. I do not recall caring for someone until recently. And you say that was a woman named Namika, huh? Well, I can't say for certain if it was, so I wouldn't worry. I'm sure she's just been taken up to the cloud. What's that? Do I know an Namika? Never met anyone by that name, and I've worked at the Outskirts for a good while now. If you spent time here, I would remember. No one. Even her caretaker not. So it was the same for everyone. But a single person remembers Namika. It is as if a memory of her has been purged from their minds. Why such a thing might be done with magic to alter the memories of so many at once would be a tremendous undertaking. I would have felt a surge of aether corresponding to the act too, and I sensed none in that moment. Neither did I, but I did notice something else. Right before Peperan seemingly forgot, a light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells. But who might we ask about this? If we continued making such inquiries, I expect we would only cause confusion. Indeed, if we can't readily solve a mystery about Namika, perhaps we could search for Kashia instead? The Sweens said to try the Thunder Yards. Should be in this direction. Impossible. Huh? Another kind of mechanical soldier? It looks dangerous. We'd better destroy it. Ah! Should we give chase? I think it understood our words. Might be worth asking it some questions. Aaron, are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing, I'm fine. Well, it went off in the direction we headed anyway, so let's try to track it down. Yeah. You found it? It went to a cave over there. To the northeast. It must be bound for the mines. Come on, Ben. It could well be a trap, so let's not rush in too quickly. The stones in these crates. Could it be turquoise? An old coal mine? It appears to have long since been abandoned, like so many other places. I think it's safe to assume it went into the mines. So it went in here? I heard faint voices coming from the inside. So it's not alone, but they're still going in, of course. It may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone. It would appear no one has worked these tunnels in quite some time. I'm not worried. We have had to improvise countless times before, after all. A device made with electrope. It seems to be the only one here. The tunnel just keeps going on. I can hear them. Several people up ahead. Can't make out their conversation with the echoing. Let's keep going. Stay on your guard.
What is this?
Aaronville!
A trap?
It really is you!
Huh?
Who?
I just had to get a look at you in the light. And I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Olympia!
My darling, what now?
Stand down. So I guess
Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
are you alright?
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
I'd know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Galul Jaja's kitten? I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. Elenesphere was always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope.
I can't say that I do, but you know my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
Kafkiwa.
I'm sorry?
Oh, this won't do. Come in, come in! Friends of my LNSP are always welcome.
All I ask is a little forewarning, but no.
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place. How are things still getting stranger?
Emerald's mother is a floating machine? Right. That makes about as much sense as everything else thus far. At this point, I doubt anything could possibly surprise me. The other guns and machines that could be controlled remotely. Is she using something similar to communicate with us? I can't say I understand what's going on, but at least Kashyyyk is safe. As far as I can tell, this is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited. But as to what happened, we need to ask her. Let's hear what she has to say. It's so wonderful to meet you all. And the students of Baldesion, been a while since I heard that name. Dare I ask a reason for your appearance? Oh, this is just a body that I control remotely. I use it for operations. We're members of a resistance organization. Oblivion, we call ourselves, and our goal is to thwart Zoralja's ambition for conquest. As the leader, it's prudent that I remain where I can't be found. I see. Whimsical appearances notwithstanding, yours is a serious cause. Right you are. For truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose. And that is? As I expected, you've already noticed, everything you see within the dome, the buildings for people, the very earth beneath our feet is a fusion of two worlds. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. Then does that mean you know who and what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago and our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. At the time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Zoralja. But we failed to do that, and now he's taking his army outside the dome. None of you wear those strange devices on your head. Does that have something to do with your work? You mean this? It's a regulator, the pinnacle of electro technology, and that we don't wear it is indeed related to our operations. What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Regulators have two primary functions. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life. Reserve? You mean people walk around carrying spare souls? They do. Souls are packaged in cells, and they can be used to replenish a life force that is lost due to sudden death, such as an accident. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation, to encourage exemplary performance and fulfilling their duties. Souls is a common resource and payment for services rendered. The voids and practice of consuming others for their aether comes to mind, and similarly I expect the act comes with some risk. Wouldn't the consciousness of others corrupt your own? That is prevented through memory management, a process in which regulators also play a role. Memory management? The reason everyone has forgotten Amika's existence? The regulators are constantly recording the memories of their wearers, so if they should suddenly die, the memories can be refreshed as part of the restoration process. This is how they preserve one's identity and sense of self. However, the regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being that the regulators forcibly extract memories relating to the deceased from anyone wearing one. Why would they do such a thing? It's a kindness bestowed upon the people of Everkeep's core system, so no one has to suffer the pain of loss. They bring Type 0 in here? So this is what is meant by their memories being in the cloud. Indeed, all memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and archived in the system. It is a frightening function of the regulators, and an integral step in soul cell production. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, that soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. It's then delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. The result is a fresh soul cell, free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system, to be remembered forever. And this is why people are happy here. On its surface it's similar to the XIV philosophy, but it is nothing noble or comforting in it. Well, it doesn't seem so terrible to me personally. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, the system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. Amidst the mounting death toll, Scientists used the electrobe to devise a means to save what lives they could, so that the nation could endure. I understand that people of Alexandria did what they believed was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe that Turali would also accept this way of living. It came as a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them if they so wish. Sphene didn't strike me as a sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so we already met. She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wants to help us stop Zoralgia. Awfully kind of her to point you in my direction, and to speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motive, she has given the people a choice. Live with the risk of true death, or the security of the regulators. Everything that lives must someday die. That's the natural order of things. Quite right, but however you feel about them, it would be easier to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it for yourself. I know just the person to show you, and as luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now. Who are we going to see exactly? Come with me and you'll find out. Take care not to get struck by lightning out there. One fellow whack and you could dodge them by jumping back the instant there's a flash, but that's crazy if you ask me. Yep. Final Fantasy X Thunder Plains. That was actually a mini-game there. It was insane. And for one particular character's ultimate weapon, you needed to do that 100 times in succession. I'm sorry, but I just can't accept the idea of using souls as a resource. We have to see how the regulators work, but how? So was regulators to blame for everyone forgetting Namika? For forgetting what a wonderful person she was? To alter the memories of a populace with such precision is no small feat. What does she intend to show us? Everyone here? Good. It's the responsibility of the Thunder Yard hunters to fell any fiends found wandering the area. We're to meet an acquaintance of mine, Striker, one of the hunters. What do you think is in this box? I'm guessing food? Judging by its name, I take it this facility is for gathering lightning energy? Let's get this over with. Striker will show you what life can be like wearing a regulator. While I'm not blind to the potential benefits of these regulators, the risk inherent in giving another party the power to alter your memories cannot be overstated. Never mind the ethical considerations of using souls in such a fashion. Given the opportunity, I should very much like to study Electrope on behalf of the students. Kashuya? What are you doing here and with so many friends? Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping they might observe you at work. Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on, I assumed they were wearing special regulators like Queen Sphene's crown, but they aren't wearing anything at all. It's much too dangerous to be here without one. What if they're struck by lightning or attacked by beasts? I can assure you they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I would take full responsibility. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Danger aside, there isn't really much to see. Kazuya said you're a hunter, but wouldn't it be easier for those mechanical soldiers to guard this place? It would, if not for the fact they're weak to lightning. The Thunderyard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Some good they are, but these facilities are vital to the upkeep of Alexandria's infrastructure, so it falls to hunters like me to deal with any fiends. Given the danger, we are well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone looking to build up savings. The special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either. I brought this lot to see this danger you speak of, if it's not too much trouble to ask. Of course, in which case it would be a shame to waste my efforts on just any old beast. You all can handle yourself in a fight, right? If you cause a ruckus slaying what critter you see nearby, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of a demonstration. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we should each slay what we can. My fuzzy little bunman was never any good at fighting, and this body of mine isn't suited to it either. Will leave this worked in your capable hands. I'm afraid I must leave the fighting to you. Another one. This one will do nicely. We'll help you. It's fine, really. I faced worse. Just watch. I don't like the look of this. Let us help. Oh no! Look out! Piss off. She needs healing. That was embarrassing. Bastard caught me off guard. Are you mad? Seriously, let us help! I told you not to worry. This will only take a moment. Just like Soralja. Come on, let's get out of here. That's also a function of a regulator? I think I understand now how Soralja was able to return from the dead and defeat Papa, but I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became beast-like. Don't tell me, you empower yourself with the soul of a beast. I'm reminded of a serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard who did the same. So you crossed paths with one of the king's elite. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourself on souls. We could do the same in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not if they allow hunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care. And there you have it. Regulators can be loaded with two kinds of souls, those of people and those of beasts. The souls of people can be used to grant you the user preternatural strength. Naturally, they can also be used to ensure no one suffers an untimely death. And what about the souls of beasts? They work much in the same fashion, imbuing you with the strength of a chosen animal. If, for example, you used the soul of a wolf, you would grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Striker. Using several of the same type at once, however, would result in physical changes. Your teeth might become fangs, your nails claws. Too many and you become more beast than man. Changing one's form through the souls of other beings. It becomes more and more reminiscent of Voidsent. Yet unlike the Void, where the cycle of death and rebirth is simply broken, souls here are forcibly taken before they might reach the Ethereal Sea. Different means to achieve similar ends. A cycle to which all within the dome are bound. This is wrong. This is all wrong. It is indeed hard to accept being so far removed from our own beliefs. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. The civilizations in the reflections are surprising indeed. When MSQ spoke of surprising civilizations of our reflections, I wonder if they had Alexandria in mind. Having seen the beauty of the ethereal sea firsthand, I simply can't accept what I've done here in Alexandria. I understand that it's part of their culture, but it's no less disconcerting. Sphene speaks of lived experiences that suggest she's far older than she appears. Considering the power of these regulators, perhaps it's not so far-fetched. I've never seen it for myself, but said that if a beast's soul is potent enough, a single soul is enough to induce a monstrous transformation. While we all have our thoughts on souls, for now the important thing is we know what power Zoalja has at his disposal. It's one thing to separate corporeal aether from incorporeal aether, but to strip memories from the soul entirely is unprecedented technology. This is no longer only Tuliola's concern. With this newfound power, Zoalja has become a real threat to the entire world. Indeed, he has to be stopped no matter the cost. The worth of a soul. Regulators give Zoalja a frightful advantage. That's just one of the devices he's gotten his hands on. We have to have a chance to defeat him. We have to learn all we can about the technology he has at his disposal. Alright, but I end this episode here and we continue this next time. And then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.